Hello guys and welcome back. It's that time again. It's come around so quickly again. Tuesday morning. Feels like 2 seconds since I was just doing this on Friday afternoon, saying have a good weekend guys. Anyways, how things have gone. Number one, today is Charlie's birthday. 1st of November, he's just turned 6. Over the moon. And obviously last night we had a fully packed out night. Halloweening, because obviously it was Halloween. So he thoroughly enjoyed doing his Halloweening. Loads of sweets. Olivia come as well. She was a little bit scared of some of the big monsters and stuff that was up. So fantastic evening last night. Charlie and Olivia went around, did the Halloweening. Fortunately Harvey got attacked, not badly, but somebody had some aggressive dog that were nowhere near the house, ran across and decided he's okay, but that put a bit of a downer on the night. Come home, Charlie had to open his presents early, unfortunately, because this morning he had to be at school for 8 o'clock, well 8:30, so he wouldn't have time this morning. So he opened his presents. If I've got any time at home, I'll show you the few bits we've got for him. And yeah, that was good. And Hunter's birthday was on the 29th, and he met up with all his brothers and sisters, all 10 of them, and his mother on the weekend. That was great. And I might upload this. We went to a little cafe at a seaside place called George Bay, and there's a great big old style double-decker bus, a really old one, like a London bus with a back entrance where you can sit and have your fish and chips on the bus. Had it to ourselves. It was great, fantastic. So yeah, good weekend guys. Just want to go on one point, not correlated, about being happy in your jobs. Like me and Holly were both thinking the other day, me and her are both happy in my work. I come to work, I don't get paid a fortune, and I enjoy it, and she's exactly the same. She works in a family run shop with our parents, and we both get up in the morning and enjoy going to work, but we don't get paid a fortune. Now, a lot of our friends absolutely hate their jobs, but they're doing that because they want to earn loads of money, because they've took on too much in their life. Now, I just want to go on about how I run my life and how Holly agrees how we run it. You've seen my house. It's not some slum by any means. It's just an average 3-bedroom semi-detached house in a relatively modern estate. If you class that as 97, 98, it's getting on a bit now. We're happy at that because the bills are affordable, which means we have a bit more disposable income to have a life. But a few of my other, I don't want to even say friends, people I know, have had to go one too far. And what they've basically decided to do is I'm just going to go over here because there's somebody coming to the garage. What they've done is they've decided to go all out and get themselves a fully detached house, or a great big massive house, for hundreds of thousands of pounds on top of what we've paid. So unfortunately, again, I'm not mentioning names, I get into specifics, but a few people I know this year have gone, oh, we're not going to be able to spend Christmas with the kids, we're going to have to work Christmas. And I just sit back and go, that's your fault. That's your fault. You've chose to have to pay all that money. With my job, I'm off. I can trust us guys. I've been offered good work doing offshore work. I did a couple of little minor qualifications. I've got the HGV license. I've been offered good work driving, but I've said no to it because my family comes first, and I'm happy to live a lifestyle where it's hard to explain that I don't need to try too hard for it, because I'm just happy in an average house driving average cars. But unfortunately you get these people who do nothing but whinge and moan on about having nothing and having to work Christmas and New Year and all the rest of it, because they have to have that kind of job, because they have to pay the bills because of their choice in life to choose. Don't get us wrong, you've got to improve in life and you've got to better yourself. I totally get that, totally understand that. But it's these people so depressed and hating their work and hating their job, but the only reason they're doing it is to fund their lifestyle that they've chose. So yeah, me and Holly were just sitting back the other day with our feet up thinking, life ain't too bad. We've got a nice enough house, nice enough caravan. I could get nicer cars if I wanted them, but I like the cars I have. She's happy with her car, and we both get up in the morning, go to work and enjoy it. She loves seeing all the people coming and going in our shop. She never has a minute sometimes, but it's nice, and I love this job. Trust us, I could be earning much bigger money working in a dealership. All this I've just explained, but we haven't. But anyways, I want to just go down to something here on mortgages. Back in the middle of COVID, when your neighbours were grassing on you for walking the dog more than once a day, the country was on its arse, and we got a cracking mortgage deal. It was just by chance, it was due renewal, and we got a mortgage deal for 1.3 something percent, 1.375%, which is mint, and it was fixed for 7 years. I even paid a £700 fee to get it fixed for 7 years, and I just totally forgot about it. 2 years have passed now, I've got 5 years left, and a mortgage advisor come in the garage a few weeks ago with his car. He just said to us, he goes, how's your mortgage? He goes, are you getting some overpayments done? I went, shit, nah, Gans, I've totally forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. And he goes, you want to get on with that, mind, Dan, he says, because in 5 years' time, he says, you won't be getting nothing like that. I thought, right, I'll take your word for it. So anyways, I'm going to see how much we pay a month, but just say it was £175, right? And I jokingly said to my partner, I said, I wonder how much time it would knock off if we added £25 between we a month to make it £200, argument's sake. I was thinking in my mind 6 weeks. Sorry if I've covered this. I was thinking 6 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever. I rang them up. We've got 18 years left on my mortgage. I said, so if I put the payment, did an overpayment, recurring overpayment every month for £25, I said, how long will that knock off? They're like, oh, about 2 years. 2 years? I was thinking like 2 weeks or something like that, you know, when you're dealing with that kind of money. So I said to my partner, I says, right, that's it. I'm sorry if I covered this on last week's vlog or whatever. I said, that's it. I says, we're putting my foot down. I said, we're going to whack as much as we can. Say £200 extra every month. She's like, oh, we can't. I says, we can afford it and we will afford it. And I says, so anyways, I spoke to the bank. And I says, if I add an extra £200 a month on my mortgage, in 18 years, how long will that take it down to? I said, approximately 10 to 8 years. And I've got a few more little bits of money I would put towards in as what you call like a one-off overpayment. So I didn't expect that. Just a little bit of advice to you guys: if you have got a mortgage and you can, and your mortgage is the type you can make overpayments on, and it's, you know, you can't, it can't be more than your, what is it, 3 times the amount of your monthly payment. So I say it's £200 a month. It can't be more than £600 in one go. But if you wanted to, you could pay, like, if you want, you know, it's hard to explain. But like, it was a bit strange because they says, if say you've got £1,000 you want to pay off, and your limit is 600, you could just pay 500 and then 500, and there's no fees. But if you paid 600, you would get a fee, and it would change everything. Strange. Anyways, enough talk on that. I just thought I would say, guys, I did not expect that. That means that hopefully, if we crack on at this, I could potentially have my house paid off before I'm 40, or about 40, or just over. Hopefully I'll come into some nice winnings or something like that in that time, and I can make, you know, like a decent strong overpayment. But thing is, an extra £200 a month, it's stretching a bit. But like I'm saying, Holly, it's not like paying your gas, your electric, or your phone, where you're basically chucking it away and you're never getting it back. At least you're putting that into something that you own, you know. It's a good way of spending. Anyways, enough financial. God, you'd think we're on Martin Lewis show here. We're not. What do you call that? Money saving expert. Anyways, just want to go on. There's actually a few interesting vehicles in. Talking about money, do any of you guys want to spend some money? Got the S-Class in today. The guy's deciding to sell it. I'm not going to tell any lies about it. The fuel tank has got it did have a leak and it's been repaired, so it's perfectly fine for the MOT. So this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I'll show you inside of it in a minute. It is absolutely lovely. There's a few jobs I need to do to it for the MOT. I'll put the lights on, I'll show you. First up is the headlights. I changed this headlamp the other week, and it's nice and bright how it should be, but this side is really dull to the point there's barely even a beam pattern. It's just the fact the bulb's burnt out. There's nothing wrong with it, but you've got to take all the coolant tank out and everything, which I can't be arsed, but I'm going to have to do for the MOT to keep it right. You can't see, but there is no beam. When you put it up to a wall, there just isn't a beam pattern on that. Sorry, I just got stopped there with a delivery. But yeah, gonna get that headlamp bulb done. And obviously we all know, I would never lie to anybody, it needs the fuel tank had a slight leak on. We've done a repair on it, and it is perfectly bone dry now, so it's in for test. That's perfectly within your rights. But it is going to be for sale. The guy purely just understands it's not like what he used to have, a Volkswagen Passat. It's going to be cheap, guys, and it'll have a full year's MOT. And as for the tank, yes, it was £3,600 for Mercedes, but there's a company down near Middlesbrough that do a tank injection system where it like basically injects your resin inside, and it's a permanent repair. And I think it's about £800. That's obviously for somebody to remove the tank, inject it, refit it, and all the rest of it. But trust us, guys, it's a nice car. I'm really tempted myself, but I like my A6 too much to come away from it. This is a different calibre of the A6 again. Not quite as good handling, but top end wise, unreal. But yeah, it's had a fortune spent on this. New sumps on it and everything, and God knows what else. So yeah, somebody else has just come in now, just nicely to stop us from what I'm wanting to do. So I'll catch you soon. Just 2 minutes, I need to see to this guy. So yeah, just getting the car dropped off, guys. Lango guard's getting done on this Kia Sportage. I'll show you obviously when I get on with it. It's just been dropped off because we had torrential rain last night, so hopefully that's enough time to get it dried off. before I started. Maybe late on tonight, if not tomorrow morning. So yeah, anyways, this is for sale. If you know anybody, it'll have a full MOT. Obviously, needs the tank sorting. It's not leaking at all. It might go on for a long time yet, but I'd rather be honest with you. Again, it's the S320 CDI, the one you want. Economical, powerful, without all the nonsense of the big end ones, you know, like the flipping V12s and V8s and that, the petrol ones. But it's just such a machine though. Absolutely gorgeous in here. Just on another level. It just really is so nice in here. To the point where I am so tempted. I mean, it's like sitting on a sofa, this. And I'll just show you just all the little bits. You know, like the little telephone. I know you've already seen this, but how nice is that though? Just so nice. Air suspension, so it's like riding on a cushion of air. And we'll just fire it up. Full digital dashboard. I'll just shut the window. All these buttons just feel so high quality. Electric heated seats. Electric headlamp washers. But I was just looking at this before on this screen. Obviously that's your full sat nav. All this is digital. But just this thing here, you notice this screen, I don't know how well this shows on camera, but if I press this button here, it focuses it towards you as the driver, and then when I press the other bit, see now it moves away. I don't know how well that shows up, guys. And I'll do it again. See how it's going that way now? Then bring it more here to the centre, then a bit more to the driver. Great. Suspension up and down. Oh, it's just all sorts in here. And that clock is beautiful. I could see myself wafting around in this. It's all the little cubby holes and stuff like that, you know, like here in the door. And so soft. There's not a surface in here that you touch that does not feel premium. Soft touch dash. Oh, it's just great. Lovely. Absolutely glorious car. Like I've mentioned, once a tank's sorted, there's not a lot of issues with this vehicle. And I would highly recommend it to anybody who wanted it. And it is going to be going cheap, guys. I'm not going to say prices. If you're interested, messages. It might already be gone by then, but trust us, you will be surprised. Which is why I'm tempted. And it's only got 111,000 mile on. That's not much for one of these. You normally expect 211 and they barely run in. Anyways, quickly, what's in? You know, I've got the Sportage. That's in for the Lango Garden. I've got this mocker. We had this in last week and it went in for MOT. And the tank started absolutely pouring water out everywhere. So it had cracked. So I'm thinking, all right then. So my dad quickly ordered last minute on a Friday a new coolant bottle. And it went away for the weekend. The guy come back and he said, oh, it's spurting out everywhere. We hadn't touched anything on this car. We'd simply done an oil and filter, air filter. We topped this up, but that was it. Just topped it up. Crikey, we didn't open up the system or anything. So, like, the guy was fully understanding. Really nice customer. So I said to my dad, I wonder if it's the cap causing problems. So I'll just go and show you now. So this is the coolant bottle here. And I was a bit somewhere at the bottom where it had showed signs of, I don't know where it was now, trying to have a look. There, like signs of leaking there. So we changed it, but it still had the issue. Which I think I've been doing it for a while. So I had a look at this coolant cap. And there is a pressure valve in there. But it looked like something was missing compared to the new one that come. Obviously I can't take it off because the car's boiling hot. But what I did notice are these seals are absolutely flattened. They're absolutely gone flat, as you can think. Where the new one, it's got a nice rounded edge to it. These are flat, so I think what was happening is that wasn't creating the right seal, and it was just letting all the pressure straight out. Therefore, if you don't have full pressure, it makes water boiling point. You do know that obviously water boils at 100 degrees. If it's in a pressurized system like this at, where is it? 140 kPa and what's that? 20 psi. It massively changes the temperatures that water it boils at. Hence, cars don't boil over, you see. So that's all to do with the pressure. If the pressure isn't there, it makes them overheat. So, new cap on, and the car's been running now for a long time, and it's not even so much as moved the gauge. This, I mean, obviously running, the vehicle is hotter than what it is driving. There's no airflow for the radiator, and it hasn't moved from the level not a single drop's come out. So I think it's been between the tank leaking a little bit and the cap, so a nice new cap, so fingers crossed that's that done. That could have been a big problem, and this is why I'm not massively keen of getting loads of new customers coming in, because when you've got your normal, like, genuine customers, like this guy, even though he is relatively new, they're very understanding. The note was nothing we had really done, because the level was low to start with before they'd come in, but that's the exact kind of headache you can get from a new customer who think they know it all, and it's the old, well, the car was fine before you touched it kind of thing. Gets into dodgy ground. Anyways, few interesting cars in the day. First up, the Cougar that had the remap done. It's got a tight caliper, it's gone down to the pad, the metal on one side, so it's getting new rear discs and pads. They're pretty recent to start with anyway, but that caliper's getting that tight. Unfortunately, that's the way you've got to do it, a full pair rear discs and pads. And on here, you remember my old friend here, the Altea XL? I must admit, it is definitely up there in my top 5 of cars. I do genuinely miss the thing. But I didn't get rid of it because I wanted to. I got rid of it because I did Simon a favour. Remember the S80? He had the S80 that just resold from my Mondeo. He had that car and he needed something a bit bigger. And I just did him a favour because I knew he was getting a good car he could use for camping and stuff, and the S80 he was finding difficult for that. So not much to speak about. Pretty much good car. Simon's been on underneath, done all of the resealing it. It doesn't really need much, to be quite honest. There's nothing much to speak about. I'll show you when it's off the lift. We did all the work on it, new discs and pads. I had new front springs and everything, tyres before Simon got it off me. So yeah, it is a nice car. I'll show you it better when it's on the deck. So I'll leave it there. I'll get this bulb sorted on the Mercedes, and I'll show you the Altea when it's down. Catch you soon. Right guys, sorry about the wind. That's the S-Class sorted now. We have 2 equally matching lamps, where beforehand, like I said, that one was very, very dull. I did think a car this calibre would have had bi-xenons, but again, it's probably less to go wrong. So I'm just going to go across now and show you in the garage what's been going on, the usual kind of problems we've got. Anyways, the mocker, that's sorted now. This is now stood for a good 10 minutes or more, and it's dropped down perfectly where it needs to be, no leaking whatsoever, so that's spot on. Just going across there's the Altea. I just want to show you on this Cougar, but again, that's looking as good as ever. On this, obviously it's getting the caliper done, but these things stick. You've got to be very careful on these Fords. Basically, they're an aluminium caliper in a steel spring, and the steel spring creates like they react together, they fuse together, and if you can't get these out, they can be really problematic. You can't really put much heat on them and stuff, so be careful with those. With some of these, with the pads, you've got to remember, if you line them up, these are fine because they're not pegs, but you get some of these with little pegs and they've got to match the pegs in the back of the pads. But these have delaminated on here, Padgett as well. They must have been getting hot, or something must have been going on, because the same's happened on the other side, which is unusual. So whether or not the calipers have been tight or what, but they're only 3-year-old, so something odd's definitely been going on here. Again, it gets used for tone, but that should not really have an effect on it. It shouldn't even be an excuse. So yeah, that's these. Obviously the sliders have been greased up and cleaned, which is very important on this style. I just want to show you Ford use the most tiniest little torques on there. You've got to be so careful. Do not attempt to use a socket or anything on them, because what you will do is round them off and you'll be in a whole world of pain. And that's them there, little tiny things. Pointless. Don't know why they've decided to do that. No reason whatsoever. But again, the other side, delaminated, and you can see where the corrosion's getting behind and they've worked away. No idea. And that's not like a Padgett pad. It's one of the first I've seen actually fail. And you can see that one's all just come off, and yeah, the Padgett. Whether or not they've been getting too hot, I don't know. To me, that looks like corrosion. There's been water getting behind them. But anyways, they're to be done, and get that sorted. Hopefully it doesn't need the calipers. And just quick walk around the Altea, because we haven't had this on the channel for quite a while. Still with this car, first thing always for me are these wipers. I think they're absolutely great, and that used to irritate is the fact the driver's one doesn't quite sit flush. That used to annoy me, but I love the fact that they haven't got no wiper on them. Absolutely great. It still looks as good as ever. Definitely a car, when Simon's finished with it, I'll be taking back off him, 100%. 168,000 mile, folding mirrors, all the rest of it. Just a nice massive boot on it. And this is what I'm saying, I love these because it's an MPV car, like exactly like that, what that Scenic is. I hate the ones where they're lopped off at the back like the normal Altea. It's got a proper back end on it. It's a proper estate car, high roof. It's like exactly what you want basically. But you know, again with this, the red TDI, it's the 170, 180, but I'm sure this thing's been remapped to over 200 brake. It absolutely flies. Seeing the size of those front brakes, they're a 16-inch wheel, and them calipers are almost touching. Really is a rare car, this. But I mean rare. For a start, the Altea XL is super rare anywhere. Hardly any of them about. But the Altea XL with the full red TDI is the one you want. And it's still, I love the colour. I honestly regret selling it. I would have it back in a heartbeat, 100%. To be quite honest, I would even, to a certain extent, as much as I wouldn't want to, get rid of the A6, get rid of the Mondeo, and have that as much as an all-rounder for us, which I think Simon will eventually be looking for something else. I'll end up just taking it back and getting rid of those. So there we go. That's in theory, but for now I'm quite happy with what I've got, and he's quite happy with the Altea. So we'll leave that one here, guys. Get the Cougar built up. I'm going to get the Kia on the lift to start doing the the Land Garden. I just want to show you a little grinder. It's absolutely fantastic for getting into those. Really does work like nothing else. Great, definitely from Lidl's, buy yourself one of them. Really good bit of kit. So I'll catch you soon. Right, that's the Kia done. I should have done it before and after, but you get the gist of it. You know what the standard underneath of a car looks like. So now that's it done. Just want to show you this car, a little bit of corrosion here and there. And it does really do a good job of sinking into where it needs to be. So there's obviously our stand back. It's all done, and everywhere I can get into the wheel arches. There's some bits I don't go mad with, like obviously the exhaust. I say you can do it on some of the old diesels, but a diesel with a DPF, during a regen, it probably would burn it off. But there's the odd little bit of overspray on the exhaust, but that's kind of to expect. So all the springs, all up into the chassis, all the hidden areas, I've got all. You can see where some of it's starting to drip off, like along there. I've injected it round the subframe areas, along the floor pans, underneath the covers. By the way, that black stuff's done from the factory. That's not where this stuff's totally clear. I've even done this heat shield here, the tank straps, including the tank as well, along the sills, all around the front subframe, up into the arches. Again, you can't really pick it up 100% because it does actually sink in. And again, around all the subframe here and the arms. Again, I don't go right in to near the brakes because that's you just wouldn't do that. And I've been around on the pipes with the, as you can see, all like the back edge of it here, all the bits where it's needed done, the rear differential, all around there. And again, you don't want to be getting too close to any kind of areas where, I just switched this round, where you suspect it could cause an issue. It's a new product to us. It says it's okay on everything just about, but there's still some areas I like to be a little bit more cautious of. You've got to be. But again, I've not found any problems with it yet. I've just getting a whole load of new gear from them. Here's the boxes. Getting a new bottle sprayer, just mainly for getting into doing like the large, obviously the bottle would be a bit more awkward to get into wheel arches, but just for when you're doing the main like open bits like this, so it's not in your way, you're just basically doing large areas and it's not in your way. And then obviously you've got your lance like these for when you're getting your hand up into wheel arches and cavities and stuff like that. They have sent us an extra trigger because I've been having some real bad bother with the triggers, and I've got another new one down there. But they say they're working on a new style one, so we'll see into December if they send me one or if there's one available to buy. But I've personally, if just them trigger things have been knocking up on us a few times and it's cost us a lot of time, so they've sent us them out of goodwill. But I am hoping that they give a better system. Definitely nothing that needs to be pressurised like a compressor, which I don't. The whole point of this product is you don't have to have the compressor going. You don't need to have the kettle boiling to melt stuff down. It's just nice and simple to use and user-friendly on me, which means I can charge less labour for people, meaning you get a cheaper job. Product's more expensive though, but you get a cheaper job because it doesn't take as much time and labour. So we'll just leave it there. The Mercedes is away for MOT. Altea's next. I'm going to give that Vauxhall a test drive, see what it's like. It's been out once, it seems to be fine. Let's go out and have a look. I think it's okay. My dad's had it out. I'll give it a try shortly. I'll quickly show you that. That's nicely where it should be. Obviously it's risen a little bit, but that's totally normal when they're hot. I'll give that another try shortly. And there's the Cougar. I think my dad had this out before for a quick test drive. Your new rear discs and pads, all nicely in place. And the guy gives very good results to the remap on this. It's running over 200 horsepower now. He's given the thumbs up for that. So happy days, and I had the EGR delete as well. So I'll catch you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog. Hello guys, and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. First shock to the system this morning. I can honestly say it's the first day we're all feeling the cold. I straight away this morning walked in with the dogs. You know, we've been walking around in 15-degree heat with shorts on in Blackpool of all places. And this morning, first time, honestly say, my hands and everything have been cold today. So yeah, shock to the system. Not a massive amount in. I'm just going to quickly run through what we've got in. So first, this caddy van's been in a few times. It's hardly got any miles on it. This is what I say, it's used as a school van. I think it's only got 30,000 on. Let's have a look. Yeah, 31,000. And it's already had 2 injectors done. This is the 16 diesel. And it's on to its third now. The second injector, it was in, I think, May time. And I managed to put some additive in, give it a good run, a few regens, get it really hot. And believe it or not, injectors can seize, believe it or not. They don't just knock up. And it unseized itself, and it's ran fine since. And now, as you can hear, it's definitely running on 3. But the problem is, now that it's really past it, it's in like a severe limp mode, which I'll show you. We're sitting here for a reason, because it's lovely and warm. Oh, that's nice in here. Oh, shut the door. Right, just want to show you. So 31,000 mile glow plug. I've actually got that because basically with these Volkswagens and VAG vehicles, they have a rev limiter. And they won't. It's in that because it's on limp mode. But what it is with these, just so you know, they have like a soft rev function. If you deactivate the traction control and dip the clutch, that allows you to rev them to full. This one won't because it's in limp mode. So just if any of you do have these, traction control off, dip the clutch, and that allows you your full revs. If not, they've got what you call soft rev. Not that I promote sitting revving your engine, but sometimes you need to. So anyways, as you can see on here, we'll go back. I've just been checking all the live feeds, and it's definitely cylinder 2, injector 2, but sometimes injector 2 is not always where you think, because it goes off which cylinder. So trouble codes, clear as day, comes up. Oh, that heating is lovely. I'm going to feel the cold when I go outside. I forget the other one because I've just unplugged one of them because the connection looked a bit strange. But now if you look, when I erase the codes, if I keep my foot on the floor, it's on 2. And if you just press clear, but I can't show you both at the same time, it'll temporarily rev higher. It'll happen now when I press the button. There, see? Up, but then it comes back straight away to limp mode when it clears the code. And then we'll read the codes, and it'll be cylinder 2, injector 2. There we go, cylinder 2, injector circuit. So basically, it's past repair now. I'm not even going to bother putting fuel additives in or anything. It won't drive properly. My nose is running. So we don't get involved with the injectors on these, because on the 1600 diesels are what you call piezo injectors. They're very, very expensive. Not going there. It's a school. It's paid for by the council. They don't really argue with price. I'm just going to send it out the door. And they can send it to a place called Thomas Fuel Injections, who recondition the injector, so they can have the job of taking it out, recondition it and put it back in. Job done. It's not worth our hassle. I can't buy you one, but they're about 600 quid. Not going there. Not enough money to be made in it, unfortunately, and it's £600 that has to go through the books. And we make, look, if we make a few quid on a £600 part, because nowadays, like Euro car parts are giving us absolutely shit deals on trade. Like, for example, like the 600, say, argument's sake, the injector £600 of us. I've seen it sometimes be like £602 to the public. what's the point in making £2 a £600 part? Labour-wise, you'd be lucky if you can get away with an hour, but you risk fuel leaks, you risk high pressure, you need to get the new seals, you risk everything. It's not worth it, to be honest. And I'm not talking money away here. It's just one of them things. It's not worth putting a £600 job through the books to make a few quid on it. Why would I bother? It's just no point. So we'll leave that there for this one. I'm just going to hop out now into the cold. Oh by God, that's not good. It hasn't got a temperature gauge in this van, of all things. I would like to know what the outside temperature is. So that's this anyway. I'm just going to ring them up to come pick it up. I've run them up to them. This little go in, the belt's been squealing like hell. It just gets used for short journeys, and these are like a manual adjuster. They're not like mechanical one. You just simply wind them on a bar. So that's all that this is in for. Not a great deal to see. Just down there you can see you just manually adjust them on that old school. You just basically, as rudimentary as they get, no springs or nothing. One thing with this car though, when I was driving it back, it kept beeping at us, and I was convinced the guy had left his phone in the car. It's that noise where when you go past the speed camera, it goes beep 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 beep, and I've been all over looking in the car because I thought he's either not going to have his phone to contact, so we can't contact him, or he'll be ringing us to go back to give him his phone. So I was looking down, because it was coming from down here. Obviously, that way I'll get to the point of why. So anyways, I discovered, this is just a basic IGO, that this thing in here is a factory fitted TomTom. But the TomTom's connected to the car stereo, and the noise was coming out of this speaker. So I was looking all over down here for a phone, not thinking that one of these things would even have a sat nav. So there we go. One of the first IGOs I've seen with a factory fitted TomTom. That had me, I actually stopped the car twice because I genuinely thought it was the guy's phone had dropped down the seat or the dashboard or something. And the other car that's in, quickly show you, nothing major of interest. I did quite a bit of filming yesterday, so I want to keep today under 10 minutes, and I might get them all in one vlog at the end of the week. Well, I actually got a weather warning for strong wind, but it's bloody cold, and that mix between cold and strong wind, it's not half a shock for the system. Thing in, it's like a Golf, but it's a Sportback or a Golf something. Pretty uninteresting car, but it's people who have that converted, what do you call it, transporter, and it was for that disabled daughter. So again, it's a requirement, you know, with the low floor, high roof. So at the end of the day, this car's not being bought out of choice. It's been bought for a necessity. It just says Golf on the back, which is really annoying when you're ordering parts written. We've just ordered this rear wiper, believe it or not, and they were like, yeah, it's a Golf. It's like, no, it's not a Golf, it's a Golf something. It's a Golf Sport or a Golf. Oh, I don't know what it was. They used to be called a Golf Plus, the older ones, but now they've got some fancy name. But it's just a Golf, but the roof's higher and the floor's a bit lower. Just easier to access, to be fair. Easier access into it. If I've opened it, which I haven't, it just makes it easier for getting in. Which, in fairness, it is a hell of a lot better. And probably more practical. Probably better than a normal Golf. They just don't quite look great. But I'm not really a fan of Golfs anyway. I personally think they look very bland and boring. But yeah, this is again a 16 diesel, I think, or the 2 litre, one of the two. But the later one, obviously, it's on a 16. So it's got like the water cooled charge cooler and stuff on it. I'll just quickly show you inside. All it's in for was oil and filter, air filter, and MOT. Just jump in and I'll show you. Oh, that wind, excuse me. Quite a nice, I must say. I do like what's in my Audi, that brushed aluminium. I do like that. I really do. I have to say, over that carbon fibery stuff, I think this stuff is dateless. It's very nice. But nevertheless, it's very bland in here. Very boring, if you want to call it. But I suppose this kind of car's not used for style. It's a usable vehicle. It's got all the sat nav in here. A nice big head-up display for the speed, which I do like, I must say. I am a sucker for that. I think if you've got a nice big digital dash like that in the centre, I'm just trying to unlock the steering with my knee, which I'm struggling. So like that, you see, guys. Nice big speedo in the centre, nice clear readout. Radar cruise control, I bloody love that. It's a fantastic feature to have. Probably speed limiter and radar cruise control. Massive thumbs up. That is a cracking option to have, that is. And you've got your different driving modes: eco, normal, sport. they've actually had this in sport. And I'm pretty sure I know these people. They're not that kind of people. So I might just revert that to... I don't know why that was lit up when I started up before. So it's lit up in orange. Individual. Eco. Normal. It shows you on there as well. And that's not lit up. So they must have had it by mistake in sport. And I'm pretty sure that's not... So I don't often change people's settings. I'll just put that to normal for them. Because I genuinely know these people. That's not how they would have this car set up. So we'll leave that like the way. I'll not leave that. I'll adjust that to there. So anyways, turn this off. That's pretty much it today, guys. Get rid of that caddy. I'll run that Toyota Aygo back up when it's tightened. And this is just in for MOT. I'm switching the ignition off once we get our slot. And that's it. And to be quite honest... My hands are freezing. I would gladly get home. I still haven't got me last week's vlog upload. Have a few hours with my daughter. Sort some me YouTube content out. I've got me Knowsley Safari Park in Blackpool to upload and edit. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit of time just to chill the night. I'm not going to lie. But while I'm on the subject, while I'm away from the garage, I'm sitting in this car relatively warm. Let's see the temperature here. Let's see if this thing's working. This car's not got a flipping temperature display. I don't know what's going on here. I wonder if it's because the cruise control's on or something. Oh, there, 9 degrees. It feels colder than that. It really does feel colder than that. Anyways, guys. Yeah, the time's come. Another project. Another new car. Right. I'm keeping these in the weekly vlogs to see if everybody watches them through. What have I bought? I'm not telling you. Why have I bought it? Because it's got a cracking number plate on it. I was just sitting last night having me tea, flicking through Facebook Marketplace, and this car popped up. And I have been on the lookout for this for a while. So I missed out on one about 6 or 7 years ago. It was an old Astra Mark III with a cracking plate on it at a perfectly reasonable price to buy. But the car went walkabout. The old guy's dad sold it behind his back or something. I don't know. I nearly got it, but I lost out. I've been on the lookout ever since for an old English obscure, is that the right word? Like, not known, like, not recognisable plate. I want a really, what's that word? I can't think of it, guys. My brain's gone dead. It must be, let's blame the cold. Yeah, it's like, it attracts attention. Not in a bad way. Just, it's one of them plates straight away you look at it and go, huh? That's not the normal format of a plate. You know, let's think of it like the Isle of Jersey and stuff. You get your Jersey plates. Looks very, very similar to that. I'm not going to tell you anything more till I get the car. But it really is, even me as an MOT tester, and I'm a bit of a number plate fanatic. And no, it's not a 2-digit plate or a 3-digit plate or a 4-digit plate that's worth like 50 grand. No, it isn't. I'm not ripping somebody off. But it's certainly a rare old English plate because it's got numbers that look like letters that look like numbers, and you can't fully distinguish it. It basically looks like it's only got one letter in 5 digits. Looks like it's got 5 numbers and 1 letter. Not saying no more. Literally, and it's on a car that I've already had before, and I had to get rid of it, and I wish I hadn't got rid of it. But it's got a better engine in it. Well, a better engine, let's just say a more fun engine in it. Same spec as the one I had. A more fun engine in it. I'm not even going to say what's different about the engine, because everybody will guess straight away. And the last time I give clues about one, straight away somebody pretty much picked up on it. So no clues. I sent a guy a message. Just simply, is the number plate still on the car? I thought, Dan, calm down. Calm down, because you're acting too interested in the plate. I expected the guy, because the price the guy was asking for the car is pretty much what the plate's worth. And I expected him to go, ha ha ha, you mug. Like, you think you're getting the car and the plate. And he said, yeah, if you pay the full asking price, which is a fair price, which I wasn't really going to argue with him, to be fair. I was over £75. The car was something 75, and I went, I'll give you a straight X. And he went, no, if you want the plate, it's that price. I thought, all right then. Yeah, deal. I'll have the car. It's like, do you not want to ask nothing about the car kind of thing? I'm like, well, actually, go on then. So I only wanted the plate to start with, but the car really took my attention. Here, the car is 2002. And on its first MOT at about 3, it's very end of 2002. You may as well call it 03, but it's a 52. Its first MOT was in 2006. And then it went out the country to Spain. And it stopped in Spain from 2006 right the way through to 2021. So it's only had 4 winters of its 20 years in the UK. The rest of it's been over in Spain. And these cars suffer from rust, so they're few and far between. It's got the rare high-powered engine in it, which are pretty much, I've searched eBay, one of, and it's been in Spain all of its life, and most of these things suffer badly from corrosion, which it's not going to have any. I'm thinking, I want the plates, I like the car. Remember, I've told you I've got a garage with storage off one of my customers for a smaller car. I've got the storage for it over the winter. I'll use it the month of November. It's MOT till December. So I'll just bang a new MOT on it and use it the month of November and stick it away for the winter. Because I don't want to get it rust. I'll stick some Lango guard underneath. And if they start spreading salt, I'll just pull the plug and sawn it early and put it away. So anyways, I'm picking it up on Sunday. So maybe on Sunday afternoon, there'll be a reveal video. It's over in Newcastle. I'm debating getting the bus. I might even do a bit of a car collection caper, jumping on the bus. I'm debating maybe going and getting a return ticket to Newcastle, stopping off at Gosforth, doing the deal with a guy, paying him, taking the keys, but then hopping back on the bus with me return ticket into Newcastle. I haven't got me daughter, and I don't think I might have my son. If I have or not, I'll bring Charlie anyway. Have a day in Newcastle, get the bus back, get off at the stop nearest to the car, drive the car home and do a bit of a video, do a bit of a day out. I'll leave it there. This has gone on too long now, but there we go. There's a little bit of thing for the channel, but unfortunately that leaves me with the ZX in storage. I'll be putting this car into my other storage. I've got the ML in storage, which doesn't fit in any of the other 2 storages because it's too big. My A6 and the Mondeo. That's a little bit too many cars, especially when it comes to April and I take them out of storage. So I'll take this car I'm getting out of storage, ML out of storage for the caravan season, ZX out of storage for car shows. This car I'm getting, it'll be a good one for car shows. It's 20-year-old. I'm going to be stuck with the A6 and the Mondeo. I don't know what to do, guys. I might have to get rid of one of them. I may have to get rid of one of them. I don't want to get rid of this one I've getting with the plates on, because I think I've got free storage forever, pretty much. The woman that says you can have the garage down. I'm going to get her a box of wine. She likes to drink the wine. Heated garage to a degree, electric door up and down. Unfortunately, the only cars I can fit in there is that one and the ZX. So if I lose my storage for the ZX next year, where it is now, I've got this for it. And then obviously this one I bought left to be out. But I do fancy it. I do fancy it as a daily, not through the winter, but over the summer. Air conditioning, all that in it, lovely. Which kind of leaves it a bit of a loose end. What do? I need the ML, can't get rid of that. The Mondeo, very, very handy car, and it owes me literally nothing. I need it for the dogs. Am I going to have to let go of the A6? I'm going to have to for space. I've got the ZX, the car I'm getting, and the Mondeo on the drive over the summer with the caravan. I haven't got space for another one. I haven't got space to store it. The garage where the ZX and the car I'm getting is, none of my other cars will fit in it. So one's going to have to go. So if anybody's interested in any of my cars, please send us a message. Not the ML, not the ZX, probably not the one I'm getting. It's going to have to be between the Mondeo and the A6. But for what the Mondeo's worth, I might as well just keep it. Might have to be the A6. Anybody interested in the A6? Give us a message. I don't know till Sunday till I pick this car up, inspect it, drive it, and then make a decision. But unfortunately, the A6 might have to go up for sale. Not right now, I'm not in a hurry. It's going to be more coming up to the spring when I start taking my cars out of storage and using them. I'm going to be overrun for space. We'll leave it there. Catch you tomorrow on Thursday's vlogs, guys. Just vlogs on Thursday's vlog. A little bit of food for thought there, isn't it? I'm quite looking forward to getting this car. I'm very keen to get a hold of the documents, because the minute we do the change of keeper online, them plates are mine. Happy days. Catch you soon.